Here's a mid-60s General Electric black and white portable. It was brought to me by a gentleman who found my website, and he's opening a vintage antique store called High-Low Vintage in Pasadena, California. And he would like this to work to put in his store window and display old commercials. Now, the problem he described to me was Christmas tree, lack of horizontal lock. And so it just arrived. The first thing I'm going to do before I take it in the shop is pop it open and just have a quick visual inspection. So taking a quick look inside, I see one thing that kind of stands out, which is a repair that was done quite some time ago, which was this, someone paralleled in a filter capacitor here. And they just taped it into place, and this thing looks pretty burnt. It looks like it's actually swelling up right there. So long ago, the electrical tape is actually like brittle. And from what he was describing, it kind of sounded possibly like the horizontal phase detector diodes, but I see this uses a 8B10 horizontal phase detector horizontal oscillator tube, which is that little stubby thing right there. Typical General Electric with the 38HK7 and all the compactrons. So I guess the next step is to fire it up and see what we get, and pull a SAMS on it and check the electrolytics and see what the symptom is with it running. So upon further visual inspection, I found a dime laying on the circuit board, so I turned the set over and shook it, and a penny fell out. And the dime is dated 1967, and the penny is dated 1959. So we definitely have no horizontal lock. The vertical is extremely way overextended. That could just be an adjustment. I'm all the way maxed out to one side with the horizontal. I've got it all the way counterclockwise, and the tuner is extremely dirty. I'm going to pull the SAMS on this and take a look and see what yeah, we don't want to burn the CRT. Oh, somebody is very flaky.
To check out the latest and greatest on television, TV shows. Here you'll see the best of what's.
Guess I better start with filters and go from there. I came back to this after it being off for a few hours, and the vertical deflection is working again. There is a horizontal oscillator tank coil here I'm going to try and adjust, because I'm real close to getting, just see if I can kind of bring it, There we go.
Upcoming big games. Get all the scores you want without waiting for the ticker or changing the channel, so there's no chance of missing a big play. You can also tune to the action.
So I got this thing, I got the vertical kind of dialed in, and you can see there's some AC hum in this. There's also a lack of horizontal width, which could be a weak tube. What I'm going to do is I got a 220 here, 200 volt. I'm going to jump that, parallel this with that capacitor that someone else paralleled in there, and you'll see the AC ripple go away. You can see it kind of froze up. I'll disconnect it here. So it still bothers me that the vertical failed. That's the horizontal adjustment. I adjusted that core in there. I set the horizontal hold in the middle, and I adjusted this core in the oscillator coil to stop the roll. And it didn't take more than about a quarter of a turn. Put it on the staircase and take a look at it. Not bad. Actually looks pretty good. I disconnected this capacitor that someone added on, and it is completely open, completely dead. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just replace it with this. This is a really good capacitor, a Nichicon 220 at 250 volt. And the capacitor, the original capacitor that's in there, is really not that bad. I mean, you can see a little bit of waviness with the generator on it. I don't think you'd ever see it with programming. So I wonder why someone did that. Very bizarre. Look at the size difference here. This is a 200 at 200, and this is a 220 at 200. And this is Nichicon. This is really good quality. This is Mallory. This is totally dead.
Peak sexual performance. And if you've never been there, you don't know what it's like until you get there. You don't know what you don't know. You don't know what you
So it's been on here for about 45 minutes, and it's
great mutual enhancement until you reach that point.
So if you're already having good sex, can Trivarics make it better?
Well, are you happy with your sex life?
I am.
It's got really good contrast and brightness. The CRT seems to be really strong in this. The audio is a little weak, and that could be an alignment issue in the quadrature or weak tubes. This might have a bunch of weak tubes because there is a lack of deflection, horizontal deflection. You can kind of see it here. It's just right at the threshold where it's starting to pull in, and that could be that 38 HK7. But the sync is, by the way, that's the audio all the way up. And the buzz is kind of standard on these old sets. Whenever you get text,
When was the last time you rock your wrist? You're trying to replay in your head over and over.
and this doesn't have a whole lot of electrolytic capacitors in it.
premium water-based makeup mixes with a
days, I'm guaranteeing you will have the best body of your life.
A prescription, but it can deliver results.
It's perfection.
You're getting accessories. Today is the last day this month with Easy Pay for you to...
Of the two. The other thing to notice is
Certainly call Dr.
The sink has been really stable.
Your color. The
This-
Luminous Air formula is a
This has really no electrolytics except the filters. The rest of it, they're all disc caps.
Male vocalist of the year.
So this thing was
And more.
built to last pretty well.
This is Dr. Moyad's non-prescription.
and it's
So we'll just have to run it for a few days and see.
Once you try Luminous Air, you'll
You can see the
how
circle there, it
simple
looks
is.
okay. You have to just
First, there were
see
powders, then liquids,
how it holds
then
up
minerals.
and what other
Now
problems
there's
may
Air Plus.
manifest
It's
over the
most
next
exciting
few
breakthrough in
days.
Cosmetics in decades.
want to accept it. It's very difficult, and you have to come to terms.
Just a quick update, this has been on now for about 15 hours and it's been pretty solid. And I am running it now on 110 volts. It's a good idea to always run these old tube sets on the minimum line voltage you can. It greatly increases the life of the tubes and everything in the set to run it on 110 versus 125. And at 110 is the minimum because it blooms when you crank the brightness up all the way. So it looks like it's good. Looks like it's ready to go in the store window.